Saturday, March 25th is an exciting day for the sport of boxing, and it will also include the return to the ring of the Wbo Cruiserweight champion, and that will be Lawrence Okolie as he takes on David Light. Not many are talking about it, but we will here. Let's talk about it. Saturday, March 25th brings the return to the ring of WBO Cruiserweight champion Lawrence Okolie as he looks to defend his title against David Light in a 12-round scheduled bout. The fight is supposed to take place at AO Arena in Manchester, the UK. This is the type of fight that is a busy fight for Okolie, and Light, who's going to come into the ring to challenge, is an opponent that is not expected to provide much of a test for the much taller, rangier Okolie. But sometimes in boxing, miracles happen. What I expect to see in this fight is more of the same of what we've seen in the past. Here you have one fighter in Lawrence Okolie who has been guided toward a title, and though he is a strapping young man, 30 years old, 6'5", with an 82.5-inch reach, he is still a fighter that hasn't mastered the complete realm of boxing. He has that length, he has power, but he doesn't fight in close very well. He throws clubbing shots on the inside. So managing and establishing distance and range is one of his stronger points. When you talk about Light, who is coming in 31 years of age, he's 6'2" with a 76-inch reach. He's going to be at a tremendous disadvantage against Okolie. And I'm not certain about Light being able to take the punishment that's going to be necessary for him to be victorious. But Okolie, who has 14 KOs inside of 18 victories, is a guy who can establish that jab. The experiences of boxing in the gyms of the UK with the likes of Anthony Joshua, Danny Dubois, and such, he has been around, and he has the business and experience of more seasoned fighters in the game. Is he ready for that next level? My understanding is he's working currently with Sugar Hill Stewart as a trainer, and we'll be able to find out very soon how that's been working out for him Saturday night. On the other hand, Light, who is a typical brawling type fighter, doesn't have the, I want to say, wherewithal that you might expect for someone who can challenge Okolie to take the titles away. He's a tough man, and with what he has as established in 20 victories, 12 KOs, you don't really expect him to be able to raise much of a challenge as far as knocking Okolie out. These fights are very minuscule. In the sport of boxing, these type of fights are stay busy fights for the champions. It is time for Okolie to come over to America and start taking on stiffer opposition. The cruiserweight division right now is a place where a lion can dine easily because there's not a great deal of challenges there. This fight is going to come down to a typical observation: athleticism. I do not believe that Light possesses enough of rhythmic and perpetual motion and footwork and foot speed that would be required against a fighter like Lawrence Okolie, who, though he's a tall gentleman, Okolie is not the most athletic himself and does not move as smoothly on his feet as you might think. This can be exploited by fighters who possess more agility, but that isn't the strength of Light. Light's strength is his will to be tough and to try to be aggressive. But I don't think that he's going to be that aggressive against Okolie. Guys can talk a good game. In his pre-fight interviews, he's spoken about how he expects Okolie to come after him and that he thinks it's going to be a little bit of him having to go after Okolie. But personally, I think that early on in the fight, once Okolie starts sticking that yardstick of a jab out there, Light is gonna elect to cover up and be apprehensive about his aggression. He will not want to run into shots, as so many of Okolie's opponents have done in the past. Sometimes it's the shots that you don't see that can put you in the most trouble. And if you're running in behind that blinding stiff jab of Okolie, the big right hand comes shortly after. Okolie's right hand at the cruiserweight division can be almost as menacing as Deontay Wilder's right hand at heavyweight, though I'm not trying to align him up with the talent of Deontay Wilder. What I'm saying is, for the division, his size, reach, and the way that he can get the shot off, he gets positive results when he's able to get extension on it and snap. I believe that David Light will be available for him, and he won't be able to negotiate the distance properly. Light has also been known to cut, and when you have a fighter who can extend that jab, pop those right hands like Okolie, who also can be a bit physical in there. He likes to pull on his opponents, push their heads down. He does things physically to try to wear his opponents down, and he'll start that early in the fight. These are traps that David Light is going to have to resolve, and I don't know that he has the ring IQ to do these things. But all in all, I see it being a physical encounter, and that's what's going to win the fight for Lawrence Okolie. Being able to push Light around, make him fight at the distance that Okolie wants, make him pay for getting in too close with leaning, kind of bludgeoning him with shots, sometimes elbows. Okolie will be physical like that. He's learned some things in those UK gyms, and I've seen him in the past work to that extent against opponents. I'm not very confident what Light has to do in there to be successful, because again, from what I've seen of his matches, he doesn't really offer much of a threat. Now, what we see also under these circumstances is the fact that Light, though he has 20 victories, he doesn't seem to have had the challenges where it will raise his game. And that means a lot. if you haven't been tested where you've been knocked down, you had to come back and pull out victory from the jaws of defeat, things of that nature. In other words, he's fought a handful of opponents and has victories over guys that are nowhere near the level of Lawrence Okolie. So therefore, I can't foresee him winning this fight at all. Now, when it comes down to Okolie, he's fought guys like David Light in the past, and we're constantly asking for him to step up to that next level and face someone who could really challenge him. It just won't happen on the 25th. But what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know your thoughts about Lawrence Okolie and where do you see him going after his demolition of David Light. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.